Good morning. Rev Share here, or Share. All the titles I have given myself are silly to me now. Even my given name, Sharon, which Share is short for. And if you watched episode 2 or 1 yesterday, you heard me talk about Dawn, right? Well, Dawn is a very special being, human concept to the identity of Sharon. And it's from him that the name Cher came, because that's what he called me. And when he passed away, in tribute to him, I just started going by Cher by everybody. And I've been thinking about that a lot since I felt his presence the other day, yesterday, day before. And I wondered why now I resonate with that form of my name. You know, whose name is it? It's an identifying marker, right? So what does Cher represent that Sharon doesn't, right? And to the subconscious, Cher is a much more expansive being. Sharon is filled with trauma and craziness, and it's like I had to deny her for a long time, you know, and be this Cher character on the stage, and feel and act as if anything could be denied, you know, including this aspect, this name that held all of these other concepts that Cher didn't have to carry around with her. And then, you know, you put the Rev in front of that, and then it's Rev Cher, and now we really, you know, we have some authority. And you know, Sharon, she had no authority. She had no sense of self beyond limits that had been placed upon her. And it's just very interesting to look at the contrast that these two names hold as identity, you know, and see that, to see them for what they are. You know, I am not either. It's early, and I have a hard enough time coming up with the right words, and it's early, so it is not either Sharon or Sharon. Those are concepts. They're complete belief systems. They validate themselves by the reality that they live. You know, and once they've started to integrate, you know, Sharon is where all the shadows held. Or my car is shaking as I move. So the camera's going to shake. And it's windy. So if I hold myself to be Cher, or Rev Cher, or Sharon, or Energy, or Rev, or whatever moniker suits my style of the day, I'm going to wear that character all day long. All of its beliefs about itself, its concepts of who it is and who it should be and how it will create in relativity, all of that. And I really sat with this like yesterday. I was looking at the distinct identity markers in these names, you know. And I've even noticed that less and less I hear my name. And I thought that was interesting, because my name is becoming less important. And if the name is becoming less important, then the concepts around the name on who the individual is supposed to be are also becoming less important. And this really interesting thing is going on, right? The more I see how unimportant things are, the more pissed off I get. In a really funny way, because I'm super aware of how angry I am with it all, you know. And then I go to investigate the anger, and I can't find a reason, not a real reason to be angry. You know, it's more like a temper tantrum. Oh, life isn't what I thought it was. But yet, in the back of all of that is a resounding, you've always known it was more than this. You've simply played a character on the stage. An ever-evolving character, by the way. One that's constantly changing its identity and its understanding about itself. So drop the fucking judgment. Sharon, you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right? These are the kind of conversations I had with myself. You thought you were going to get something besides this with Lucid Waking? I'm free reigning it, babe. There are no rules. If I don't want to have a professional broadcast kind of thing, I'm not going to. If I want to leave a link, I'll leave a link. If I don't feel up to it, I'm just not going to. Look up whatever I'm talking about if there's not a link. If there's a link, there's a link. If there isn't, there isn't. I'm not even going to apologize for it. Because I really don't know what this is. You know, I don't know what this is. It's me rambling on like I do all the time. Except I'm doing it out to the wide, wide world. About nothing. That's the thing, you know. It really is as if it's about nothing these days. And it used to be so important. It used to be about everything. Everything had to make sense. I had to understand it down to the minute point. I really needed to get it. You know, please help me understand. If I don't understand what's going on, I will perish. Right? The uncertainty was crippling, both to Sharon and Sharon. But the more awareness looked, the more compassion there was for the actor on the stage, convinced it's the character it's playing. And the more compassion the character on the stage got, the actor got. And eventually the actor started realizing once again, oh yeah, it's a play. This is a character, and I know it really well. I know what it believes about itself. I know what it believes about the world. I know what it believes about how people are going to interact with it, take care of it, all of it. I know the character, says the actor. I can play it very well. Watch me. And off on the stage, you know. Put on the role of Cher. And go act as if you were her. Your consciousness acting as if you were something in relation to another something. And I don't even know if it's important to get that. To be honest with you, I don't know if anything's important. And I don't mean that in a glib way. I mean it in a very freeing way. I don't think any of it matters. There's the God's honest truth. I don't think any of it matters. Not outside of the character's role in its own play. Okay? And people love to argue with me, and they love to say that, you know, my favorite argument is that certain things that I post that are a paragraph on Facebook that only give you a snippet of a thought, people will come at as if I'm like victim shaming and shit. And that cracks me up. I love it when that stuff happens. I just love it so much. I just look at it and go, wow, you're showing me where you're at least on one level, because I can only see you through my own lens of myself and the character I'm playing, unless I choose to see consciousness just having a good row with itself and, you know, playing with concepts back and forth. But anyway, you're going to hear me go off on tangents after tangents, because that's how I talk in real life. If I'm just shooting the breeze, you'll get at least 5 different tangents from me. So, and I really don't want to be confined in having to sound a certain way, or have my levels right, or the lighting right. I'm just, you know, I did this for 7 years with all the professionalism. It was great. I even had my voice, you know, I had the right microphone, and it was great, and I loved it. But this is not that. This is me unplugged. This is me just being. Whatever label you care to put is fine. I really just wanted to talk about the very interesting way that we hold identity, and I thought about the name I've given myself, so many different names, and I thought, what a great way to look at identity and its beliefs about how reality should be. And I really invite you to do that. I invite you to look at your name, any name that you go by, even grandma, papa, your nicknames, what your close friends call you. Who are those characters that you're playing? What traits do they have? What emotional state do they live in? Because all identities have a base emotional state. You have free range of all emotions, but each identity has a base emotional state. What are all of your identities' base emotional states? And where do those identities go out and play? And how do they help awareness know about reality? You know, the universe is becoming conscious, my friend Frank said many years ago. And we're helping it. And I thought, what an interesting concept. We don't know if that's true. We don't know if factually true, because we don't know anything outside of the concepts of who we believe we are. We don't know if it's true for us. That's why I can talk to a fundamentalist Christian who believes the world is 6,000 years old. They believe it. I cannot convince most of them what's true for me is that the earth is, you know, a number so big mine has trouble comprehending it, years old, or that it's never even existed. It all depends on the point of view. The point of view in which you are aware of life witnessing itself. That's going to give you the reality you're living. A dualistic point of view, for instance, comes with contrast and polarity. A unified point of view holds all things equal. It doesn't have a contrast. All things are equal. And then there's the point of view where nothing has a label. Everything simply is. So while the actor is playing an identity on the stage, there is simultaneously going on in consciousness various points of view. It's not just the point of view of the actor on the stage. It's not just the point of view from the director or the audience. It's not just the point of view that is dualistic. It's not just the point of view that's singular. it's not just the point of view that doesn't have a sense of centralness, because it's everywhere. It's all of it, and it's none of it. And they're cliche sayings, and they sound like a bunch of gibberish until you start having the direct experience of it. And yesterday I said, I have had so many friggin' awakening experience, and sometimes it's been, months where I go through the singular expression, and that singular expression is very happy and at peace, playing any role it needs to. And then I'll slide into the dualistic expression for months, and then I'll slide into the isness of being for what seems like an eternity, but usually just ends up minutes or hours. It all depends on point of view. I do want to make something clear today before I end this, because we're already at 16 minutes. I don't want these to be super long. Not yet. I do want to talk about victim blaming just a bit, and radical personal responsibility. I have been traumatized through perpetration against me in abusive ways for about 21, 22 years of my life, from the time I got here until the time I was about 22 years old. I know what it feels like to have trauma bestowed upon you and you not ask for it. I have been raped and beat. I have been humiliated and bullied. I have been negated and neglected. I know what it's like to be victimized. And there's a huge difference between staying on the surface of victimization and telling someone on the surface that they called something to them, that they created their own reality, and therefore their victimization is their fault. I don't run Scientology, man. That's not my game. If you don't understand the part about radical personal responsibility for how, after something happens to you, and sometimes the beliefs that you carry about yourself that cause you to unwillingly and unknowingly and subconsciously place yourself in dangerous situations, which I did time and time again, you will not get how beliefs create your reality. The beautiful thing about identity and names is we really like to keep that a closed system of continuity. We really want a closed system of continuity so we feel safe, held, structured. It's imperative, and when that gets violated, there's a process that we go through to recreate the feelings and sensations of being a safe entity. And just like after an arm is done healing its broken bone, you start exercising again. You start pushing its limits again. You start helping it realize it's stronger than it ever was before because it got broken. And you start to understand that if there is a tendency there to break that arm again because you liked how you felt being taken care of at a subconscious level, one of the things I discovered in my searching for beliefs about what I held about myself to be true, because I like to get sick. Now, not only do I have a predisposition, quote unquote, weak, on my camera, weak immune system, but I also carried for a very long time the belief that if I got sick, I got to check out of reality for a while, man. I didn't have to deal with shit. And so getting sick was a really great way for me to check out. Well, when you start to bury that deep into the subconscious, it becomes how your body's response is to when you are feeling overwhelmed or even slightly traumatized. It will help you get sick, or it will mimic symptoms of being ill so that you check out of reality. Okay? So please, let's try not to be too reactive on Facebook and social media. Why don't we, cause man, I got like 3 different people giving me flack off of one stupid paragraph out of a fiction book that resonated with a very profound and deep personal experience I had. And because I didn't add my personal experience, I got accused of being a victim blamer and following cult practices by one person and being a victim shamer by 2 other people. And I thought, well, that's really funny, because I don't do any of those things. It was very hilarious to me, and I thought, well, maybe this should be addressed, because I want to make sure that there's not more than 3 people out there misinterpreting these things at very deep levels, and that when you are victimized by life, traumatized by it, please take care of yourself. Get crisis attention. Please understand that nobody on this planet deserves atrocities. But because of how humanity believes itself to be, atrocities will keep happening. And so we must help raise each other up whenever they do. And we must help teach each other how to do radical responsibility and radical understanding, so that we make clear-headed and clear-hearted choices, or we become aware of where we are as we're moving into what many people are calling an awakening, but I don't think any of us really know what it is. I think we're just putting labels on something that we don't understand, and that's okay, because that's what we do. I used to think I knew what was going on, but I don't. I don't know what's going on, but I do know humans. And I do see a lot of people waking up from their victim consciousness and becoming proactive within their lives because they want something better. I see people looking around and going, wait a minute, what have I been believing in? Maybe it's not for me. Maybe this isn't what I really want. Maybe I've been convinced to want something that I actually don't want. When awareness grabs hold of you and starts taking you through some very, very difficult pointings, when you start to be pulled into the unity consciousness, the consciousness that is everything, then you start understanding things like you have created what you believe you deserve. You have gone round and round and round to bring everything that's possible to you. You've even allowed yourself to believe that you are not perfect love and get crashed and fall apart and all of this stuff just so that you can find your way back to the perfect love you've always been. Unconditional love, perfect love, whatever you want to call it, I just call it love, is so malleable and transparent at times that we are unable to witness it. It is like not being able to see the forest through the trees, or the trees for the forest. I think that goes both ways. When we are immersed in the personality at play on the stage, when we are the actor on the stage, we are in that story. The story of the actor is no longer at play. It is the story of the character on the stage. And a lot of times those characters are very unaware characters, and a lot of things happen to them. I don't know if awareness means that things will not happen to you. I only know that in the direct experience being lived out by this identity, that is still an identity. It's just getting slowly stripped away. The more awareness there is, the less tendency there is to follow the belief systems and the belief structures that held in perpetuation a system of reactions that kept victimizing myself. Self-destructive habits, hanging out with people who wanted an accomplice instead of an ally, just doing everything to prove to myself that love was unavailable to me. That was all of it, really. Once I decided, or it was decided, I don't really know anymore. Sometimes I think there's free will, and other times I don't see how it's possible. That's another topic for another day. And I'm sure there will be a lot of opinions about that, and frankly, I don't care. I love people's opinions, and they don't really bother me like they used to when it comes to conceptual ideas. I think the fact that we all have our own thoughts and beliefs about these concepts, and some of them resonate and some of them don't, I think that's part of the whole thing. I think it can't be any other way. It's got to be completely diverse. Every possibility has to be played out. And that's why you get, such diverse life. You get such diverse responses. Within habituated responses, you get diverse storylines. You get, it's just incredible that life and creation itself has given it and lent itself to a diverse field of possible experience. Direct possible experience. And it is just consciousness at play. Which means that I'm talking to myself all the time. There's nobody else. If I am that I am always just talking to me. I'm always just angry at myself. I am always just not loving myself. I am always just negating myself, putting myself off. I am always at war with myself. If I am a character on a stage, I am always protecting myself, negotiating my reality, negotiating my relationships. It's a layered field, this direct experience that we get attached to, and it's very entrancing. And I keep saying I get disrobed, or parts of me are falling away. But it really is more like I'm waking up from trance states. I'm not entranced by certain things anymore. I might do an episode where I talk about the things that used to hold my gaze, like really hardcore, that don't anymore. There were some strong beliefs, and I have people in my life now that still believe these things, and I don't, and it's fine. I don't have to be right. I don't have to make them wrong for me to be right anymore. In the beginning, I did so I could break free of my trance. There's a lot of trance states, and I think a lot of us are coming to from them. They're starting to be seen within us, and because they're starting to be seen within us, they're being seen on the big world, And as they're being seen on the big world, they're going to be seen within us, and vice versa. It's the never-ending dog, man. It's crazy. But that's about it for today. I'm about talked out. The sun didn't quite come up. There's a bank of clouds out there that's hiding her peekaboo-ness, and by the time it comes up, it's going to probably be another 15 minutes. And I don't want to keep talking for that long while I'm in the car. I'd like to just experience some silence now, so I really hope you guys have had a beautiful day. This should get posted by about 10 o'clock. I think I'm supposed to tell you to hit the like and subscribe buttons and post a comment. Be nice. I will say that if I see any comments that are just bitchy ass mean, they're gonna get deleted, and because I don't do that. I don't do mean. Ain't got the energy for it or the time for it. I don't do mean. So if you're gonna be mean, just expect for it to get deleted and not responded to, and expect for it to not bother me, except for have to make me hit the delete button. Other than that, I wish you guys a beautiful day. I don't know if these will be daily or not. I just felt like making one today, a bit longer than yesterday's. Yesterday's was a bit of a clusterfuck. I was tired and camera didn't work right, and it just got posted as is, as this one will too, but this one's better. It's on my iPad. You get to see the beautiful dashboard of my car. I like coming out here to do this because my animals and my house isn't making noise, and it's just kind of nice and silent, but they won't all be done from here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Lucid Waking, and hit the notification button. Yeah, like and subscribe and notify if you care to. Whatever. It's your choice, man. It's your life. Go live it and be good to yourself and be good to others. Peace, love, and applesauce, my friend.